My guest today is Chris Spance. Chris is the National Franchise Leader at RSM. He has extensive experience advising franchisors and franchisees on their operations, especially in the retail and restaurant industries. Welcome, Chris. We are excited to have you here.
Thank you, Mary Jo. Happy to be here.
So today you are going to talk about digital transformation for franchise businesses. And we're going to start off with this question, Chris. Digital transformation has been a buzzword in the industry for a while, but what does it really mean for franchise businesses?
Yeah, so digital transformation has been a buzzword, and I just kind of like to start off with what is digital transformation, right? So digital transformation is really the use of technology by a company to help further the customer experience. That could be internal technology or external facing technology. And it's really trying to drive that experience to a higher level. So if we think about that in there's really two I mentioned, internal and external. So customer facing technology, for example, if you think about through the pandemic, how did people want to visit restaurants and look at the menu and things like that? Well, now everybody's scanning QR codes, right? For their menu. So that's an example of digital technology that's really customer facing. Also, pay at the table apps are big now too. So it's really how do you enhance that experience? Is really the digital technology that we're talking about here in the franchise and restaurant space. And internally, it could be adding on new technology that helps with loyalty programs and things like that, changing the way we do business, delivery versus carry out and things like that. So that's really the digital technology that's really transforming the industry right now.
And when you were talking about that, what does it really mean for franchise businesses? Like, how is that going to affect them?
Yeah, so as the franchisor side, obviously, as they look at the customer facing aspect of it, they really need to kind of figure out how they want to interact with their customers, as well as how their franchisees are interacting with their customers. And so there's many different facets of digital transformation that can take place, and they need to determine what they want to control versus what they want their franchisees to control as they go through this evolution of digital transformation.
So as an executive, how do you know it's time to seriously be thinking about digital transformation? When do I know if I'm an executive, when I'm going to start doing this?
Yeah, so it's actually now is the time, I think. I recently read an article that said under 15% of business executives actually thought their current business model is economically viable through 2023. That's 2 years away. So that's pretty scary. So now is the time where you need to really think about your digital evolution and what needs to be included in your strategy going forward. Some common things I think people can think about is who's responsible for your digital strategies in your company. If you don't have anybody assigned to digital strategies, now would be a good time to think about digital transformation. Another one, keep mentioning the customer facing aspect of this. If you don't have any customer facing pieces to your business, whether it's, social media, maybe your apps are not developed very well. Now is the time to kind of look at digital transformation because customers are really wanting that digital experience. And it's really, how do you stay in front of your customers, right? If you think back as you're a restaurant concept that entered into the pandemic and you really didn't have a good way to reach your customers that were now, quote, virtual as well, then you really need to think about your digital transformation strategy, because that to me is going to stick around. A lot of people are still going to want to interact virtually with companies.
So it's not too late. If I haven't started yet, or I don't have a good handle on it, it's not too late to start.
It's definitely not too late to start. A lot of people are starting that journey as we speak.
So, Chris, if I don't know, if I'm not very good at digital, I'm an executive and I'm not very good at digital, how do I hire for that? How do I know who to hire?
Yeah, there's a lot of consultants out there that can help with digital. It kind of depends on which way your strategy goes as well. Like I said, there's two facets of it. Do you need to hire someone internally to help with the internal pieces of it? or do you need to hire more of a marketing focused person to look more at the external customer focused piece? So it really depends on how you want your journey to start, of who would be the key players to bring in for that process.
Right. So what are some of the key advantages of digital transformation for franchise businesses?
Yeah, so I think a lot of the key advantages is really, we live in a data world, right? So we've got tons and tons of data on our customers, whether that's through the credit card processing system where you can generate that data, through your loyalty program, you can generate that data. But if you have that data and then you can digitally transform and use that data to drive sales, that is huge, right? You can also, all of a sudden, you can interact with your most loyal customers and offer them specials or specific marketing campaigns designed for them, because you know their buying habits from all the data that you've collected. So you can really use digital transformation to increase and drive your sales through your organization.
What are some steps that franchise businesses can take right now after they get off of after they stop listening to this podcast? What are some things that they can do today?
Yep, it's really to just start, right? I think the thing you got to answer first off is, there's two different things I like to say. One's doing digital and one's having a digital strategy. So I think if you took a step back and looked at your organization, if you just kind of along the way have bolted on new technologies, and now all of a sudden you're operating 19, 20 different technology platforms to get where you're at, that to me is you're really doing digital, right? You just keep adding on. If you don't have a digital strategy, I think that's where you begin. And a digital strategy is really saying, okay, where do I want to go and how do I get there? Mm-hmm. And that can really help you reduce your technology platforms and minimize things and really develop that strategy going forward. So that to me, step one is really developing the digital strategy.
So if I'm a franchisee listening to this, and my franchisor is not giving me a lot of guidance on digital transformations that I can do, what should I do?
Yeah, I think it's sitting down with all the proper players in your organization to develop that strategy for your specific business. And when I say all the proper players, this really isn't an IT function, right? It's not your IT department isn't going to drive your digital strategy. It's going to take almost all divisions in your company. Someone from finance will need to be involved. IT obviously will be involved, but marketing, customer-facing marketing will need to be involved. So this isn't just an IT person sitting in a back room saying, here's what we need to do digitally. It's going to take the whole organization behind a digital strategy. And if a franchisor is not helping you out with that, I think you just need to kind of go on this journey on your own to figure out what's best for your specific company.
Well, Chris, thank you so much for being with us. We're so glad you could make time today to be here. So thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
For our audience members, we have listed Chris's contact information if you would like to follow up with any questions. Chris, thanks again for being here.